Greetings, greetings, good afternoon, beautiful people all over planet Earth. So, taking care of yourself, making yourself become a ritual. And I think once, you understand what that actually means, the easier it becomes to incorporate self-care into your life. So what does that actually mean? Ritualizing yourself. It means absolutely respecting your sovereignty physically, mentally, spiritually, about everything that you are, everything that encompasses you. And that can be a real work in progress. And for me personally, as I've got older, I've become more relaxed and more fitted within my own skin, if that makes sense. I am not at all affected or fazed by trends. I never kind of have been, but I have certainly had my hang-ups about myself, as I'm sure many of you can relate to, and it takes time to work through those and really come to a place in your life where you self-accept and you self-love. You love yourself as you are. And so what I'm saying about self-care, it's, really taking time to take care of yourself. And it means on all levels. That could mean for many people becoming healthier in their diet. It could mean taking care of your appearance. I know that if you actually compare how women and people in particular used to dress in the 50s and 60s, they were much more put together. My Nana, my grandmother, she never left the house without gloves and a hat on, starch collars, beautiful big dresses, and very well put together. And that's how it was. Whereas now, you go into your local department store, everything kind of looks the same. A lot of people get around in tracksuit and pants, and that is fine if you want to do that, if that's you, being your best self. But when I kind of feel sad when I see how our trends in that direction have kind of gone. I love taking pride in my appearance. Some days I'm more than others, but I'm talking about, I feel good when I take care. I feel good when I wear nice clothes. I feel good when I have a bit of makeup on my face. Today, I'm not wearing too much. I usually love wearing eyeliner, but my eyes have been a little sore from wearing eyeliner. And some days I take a break. I have to, love myself enough to take a break. So if I don't go out as much, or maybe on the weekend, I may not wear makeup. But sometimes I usually wear something. You've seen me plenty of times wearing nothing at all, and I'm so comfortable in myself like that I don't mind. I don't mind appearing on camera to the world without a face on, and I've done it plenty of times. But usually I'm a woman. I very much embody a classic feminine style. I'm very classic with my appearance. I love beautiful red nails. I haven't been able to have red nails, or just nails in general, for a little while. We don't have the services here, obviously, where I live, so I do my own. And also I have been doing some hard yakka physical labor, and I know that my nails are more prone to breaking when I have things like, nails on. So I like just a classic. I've always been classic with my style. I've never followed trends. I've never worn crop tops or ever had a nose ring. That's actually something I don't like. I don't like on anybody. It's only my personal opinion, but I think nose rings are so overrated. Whatever floats your boat. If you enjoy nose rings, then more power to you, but I have never liked them. I've never liked them, and I think it's a trendy thing. Back in the day, like many years ago, stomach piercings seemed to be quite in the trend. Doesn't seem like those are as much anymore, as much as nose rings. That's just something I've never liked, nose rings, ever. And what else? So, and also some of you know, many maybe know, that I am deathly allergic to hair dye. I cannot dye my hair in the conventional way. I was very sick when I lived in America. I had an extremely bad anaphylactic allergic reaction to hair dye. And, you know, at the time, I could afford to go to, you know, one of the best salons in the state, best products. And I think my hypersensitivity was building up over time. Every now and then I would come back from the salon feeling like I was sunburnt on the head, not knowing what was to come. And then one time I came back from that and I was so sick, I thought I was gonna die. Like, I literally was sick. I felt like after that had happened, after the ambulance had come, my head was shaved, I had a complete crew cut. I thought I had aged like 50 years. I was so ill from that. And it took months from my lymph nodes to drain out that poison. Oh my God, that was horrendous. And I've even had nightmares, not recently, but in the past, of people dyeing my hair with conventional dye and me not surviving it. So, and I take that as a really good sign that, you know, my body loves me, and, you know, it's telling me any kind of allergies or any kind of, we think we're, you know, caring for ourselves. And in many ways, people don't have allergies to hair dye, but when you see the implications and, you know, the kind of warnings on the back of the package, don't dye your hair when you're pregnant, don't use this, don't do that, or whatever. I take that as an indication, or at least my body having an allergic reaction, telling me it doesn't like something. It's giving me a warning, sometimes a really scary warning, that it doesn't like what I'm doing to it, so I stop. I am someone, I've never been a drinker of alcohol, not too much, not since my young teenage rebellious days, where, you know, we'd want to get, you know, drunk on a weekend or something like that. Grew into that pretty quick. I've never been a drinker, but I have loved a cigarette. And I've always loved a cigarette, but in the last few years, I have not had a cigarette. And I know how terrible it is for my health. It's awful. There's nothing worse than smoking. You stink, everything stinks. You can't get the smell off your nails. It's terrible. Everything about it is horrendous. And actually, in the past, you know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, after having a cigarette, I would wake up the next day like I had been drunk and I was hungover. Like, it would make me physically ill. And then actually what happened was I got sick a few years ago, and I was so turned off of smoking. Anyone that was around me that was smoking, I was so turned off, I had to walk away. And ever since then, I have not had one. Someone smoked around me last night, and I mean, I had to go. I had to leave, you know, that area because it was awful. So, but that's one thing that I've always loved to do, which, you know, I'm kind of glad that I don't now, and it's passed through me. That's not to say that I won't again, but I doubt it. So I'm allergic to hair dye. I used to like smoking. I have not been, and I'm being completely honest here, I have not been a stranger to fillers. I absolutely have had my experience with fillers like 15 years ago when I was living in Dubai, also in America. I have absolutely tried fillers, and I think the worst one I had was Botox. I absolutely couldn't stand it because you can't move your face. Like, how can you not show expressions on your face? And I hated it. I hated the way how I'd want to show emotion, and I felt like my face was frozen and I couldn't do it. So I think when you look back at classic timeless beauties like someone, you know, like Elizabeth Taylor in her heyday, or when I look at some of these beautiful aging women that absolutely embrace, you know, a very age positive and really embrace the wrinkles and the graceful side of aging, because in many ways, and this, I am no exception, I absolutely had a hard time with having lines on my face and aging, and many women do. Like, a lot of women are very much influenced by the pressures of our time and the world, and keeping up with appearances and not appearing old or looking old. And of course, they go and get fillers. But some women, now that there's just so much, you know, that cosmetic industry is so saturated, you can go overboard, and so many women have, and it looks awful. I just think, my God, it would look so much better. And not just women, men as well. They'd look so much better if they hadn't gone overboard. But again, it's only my opinion, and I always encourage people, you do whatever makes you happy, no matter how, you know, extreme it may seem. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you feel comfortable. You know, and I've been there, so I know how it feels. But I know when I was getting it done, I was coming from a place of insecurity. I have never been more comfortable with who I am now. And I embrace, you know, the lines, and there's only more to come, so I might as well embrace it. But I do my best to take care of myself. That also means the products I use. Some of you know I have a night cream. This is a rose night cream. I made this. Everything I've made, I make for myself first, because I am allergic to products on the market. And I got sick and tired of just seeing all these ingredients that you can't, you know, pronounce. You don't know what they are. You know they're synthetic, so they can't be good. I'm all about natural self-care, taking care of yourself naturally with making your own things. I've actually just used moisturizer, so I've just put moisturizer all over, fingerprints all over this. But this is a heavy, buttery night cream that, oh, and it's beautiful. I've actually used it with my roses that I grew from Elnor, and I made a hydrosol. So I distilled the essence from the roses and put it in my hydrating night cream. And so that's for around the eye area. But also, I wanted something lighter. I'm not selling this at the moment, but look at this, you see? I make my own moisturizer, and this is a very milky, beautiful, hydrating moisturizer that is, I've only got like 2 ingredients in this besides water, distilled water, and like the emulsifier that you put in this. That is it. It has a natural SPF of 45, and I know exactly what this is. I made this, and so when I do make this, I usually just put it in a plastic container, something that I can put my fingers in, and I will use this to remove my makeup every single night. And in the morning before I apply my makeup, I will just dip my fingers into this beautiful, you know, nice natural consistency. A little goes a long way. And it just rubs on so lovely. And there are absolutely no preservatives in this moisturizer. Now, the only thing about that is that it could be prone to mold. There's no alcohol, because a lot of it smells so good because I've got Lang Lang in this, and I love Lang Lang. Just a touch, because you don't want it to be too overpowering. And I naturally have dry skin because I'm out in the garden all the time. I don't use conventional sunscreen, so I like to know that I'm getting something natural, with a natural SPF when I'm out in the garden. But I didn't want to use preservatives in this, and I know you can get some natural additives to put to your moisturizers if you make your own. I didn't even want that. I didn't even want alcohol in this. So what I do, you know, every couple of days or once a week, I will put this in the microwave, and I will zap it for 10 seconds to kill off any pathogens or bacteria or mold that, you know, kind of wants to grow in here, because it's a very natural, moist environment. Doesn't matter if you use distilled water and you have the most clean products, you know. Whoa, how can I not think of this? You know, it doesn't matter how clean you think all your products are, everything is sterilized. That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks, Spirit. Doesn't matter how sterilized you think everything is. Believe me, someone who has tried germinating Phalaenopsis orchids, you need the most sterilized environment, and we're talking extreme sterilization with bleach, hydroxide. Pathogens, bacteria can always get in. They're in the air. Spores are in the air all the time. Microscopic spores are in the air. So just to kill off anything, I will zap this until I use it all in the microwave once a week, because I have nothing stopping or preserving this moisturizer. So when you go and buy your big moisturizing containers, I have one in here that I use for my waxing clients, because I do waxing in my area because I'm all about self-care. My waxing clients, I just use a typical, I am not promoting this brand, but I've just got it. They have, see, like these ingredients. My God, these are frightening ingredients. Anything more than 10 letters long, I'd be concerned. It doesn't even say what they use for preservatives. This is scary. So anyway, their shelf life, because that's what it is. It's all a consumerist base. They are trying to preserve the shelf life of the moisturizing product for as long as they can. So they have to have some kind of strong additive to preserve the moisturizer. So anyway, that's what they do. But for me, I don't do that. I just microwave, because I know when anything gets hit with radiation, no matter how small or big, it will absolutely mutate and most likely die. Not even most likely. I mean, if we were put in a microwave, we would die. So that's what I do to make sure this does not go moldy. But I go through this so quick anyway. I use it every single day religiously. And this is my makeup remover. I am allergic to those makeup wipes. So this is what I mean. This is how sensitive my body is, and it tells me what it likes and what it doesn't like. So those makeup wipes that you buy at the shop to remove your makeup, which don't usually work very well anyway, I'm allergic to those. I couldn't work out, like ages and ages ago. I thought, why is my skin so red and flared up after I use that? I always thought it was just the motion of me removing my makeup, and I thought, oh, it's just me rubbing my face. And there would be nights where I'd be lying down reading and having to wipe my eyes because I couldn't see properly, and they were hurting. My eyes, I'd wake up with swollen eyes. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I thought, and I had this instinct, I had this, my trusty old intuition. I thought, God, it could be something in those makeup wipes. So I stopped using them for a couple of days, and you know what? Lo and behold, everything calmed down. My eyes were, not as sensitive anymore. They weren't swollen. My face wasn't red anymore. And I knew it was those damn makeup wipes. So I don't use them anymore. So I will use this if I've got, and this, because this is oil-based, I don't have any butters in this. This is actually a very milky moisturizer. In fact, it's probably a little bit thick for removing makeup, but I use it because in the past I've made like a moisturizing milk. So it's a very thin, silky moisturizer that I will use to take my makeup off. But this works just as well. So I will like dab my fingers in it and rub it all over, then get a dry napkin, a soft cloth, and wipe it all off, and then I'll go and wash my face with my own soap. So I also am allergic to, I'm just trying to see if I've got some soap here, but I don't. I sell it on my website. I'm making some new batches now because my soap is on the old side. Still very good, but it doesn't look as pretty as, it's actually probably better to use now than even what it was a couple of years ago, because soap needs time, and we're talking, half a year or more to cure. But it doesn't look pretty anymore. So I am in the works of making new soap. I have some beautiful local ingredients because I love making my local soap with local ingredients. And I know what's in my soap. So I then usually clean my face with, at the moment, I will actually grab it. This is my egg and ochre soap. I sell this. This is Finezra online. I should actually take this down because I'm not willing to part with my last 5 bars of it because I've only got a little bit left. So I should actually take it down from my website. But this is my Finezra egg and ochre soap, and I absolutely adore this. So after I finish taking off my makeup with this and wiping my face, I would then go and wash my face with this and just, regular tap water. And our water here is very good. It comes from a local bore. Used to be a dam, but it's now a local bore, and it's good water. I do have rainwater, but I reserve that for drinking. We cannot take our rainwater here for granted because we don't get much. But we're lucky because when it does rain, I have a full tank of it outside, and it's pretty much full now because we had a quick shower a couple of weeks ago, just enough to top it up, but we need a lot of rain for the garden. Once a week or once a fortnight, usually sometimes three times a fortnight, I will get some fresh aloe. Haven't been able to do it because it's slow growing right now, but I have my new aloe vera patch outside of my garden, courtesy of taking some from my girlfriend's garden. I will cut a piece of that off, like a frond of that, and put the gel all over my face. Doesn't smell good, certainly doesn't taste good. And that's kind of like a natural acid peel. Some people can tolerate it, other people can't. I can, and my face feels so clean and so lovely and so refreshed and hydrated after using aloe, fresh aloe, not the store stuff. There's nothing good in that. It just feels good and it's not alive. But the fresh aloe, it's like a natural acid peel and it feels amazing. So all these kind of small little things, self-care, it's like you're putting money in the bank. You're growing, you're appreciating your self-care balance in your body. If you take care of yourself, your body's only going to respond to that care in return. And on the general whole, it's not about being, it's really just melting and fitting and accepting your own skin. It's not about fitting or conforming to a certain look. You don't have to be, rail thin and skinny. You don't also have to be big also. You can if you want to be. You can be anyone you want. What I'm trying to say is, love the skin that you're in, basically. Love the skin that you're in. I always talk about being your best example. And this is no exception. So being your best example and putting your best foot forward. And, some days you're going to feel better than others, but putting in a little bit of effort into your self-care routine is going to make you feel good about yourself. It goes a long way, and it shows, it really shows on your skin. And like this will last. I mean, I've already moisturized today. I just did it for demonstration purposes, but my skin will feel silky and lovely until I wash in the bath tonight. It lasts all day. It's not sometimes when you use a sorbeline cream or even just a generic moisturizer, you have to put it on 2 or 3 times a day to feel good. And I have to say, in terms of makeup, so many people have asked me about my ancient black charcoal eyeliner that I made years ago. I would love bringing that back on the market, but as I've explained before, what a lot of customers and people don't see is, I mean, how much these things actually cost to make and to jar it all up nicely. I could easily put it in cheap jars and do that, but that's not me. There's nothing cheap about me in that respect. I want the best. I want to put the best out there. So I would want to do it properly. So I'm saying, I'm not doing the ancient eyeliner right now, but perhaps in the future, when I can afford to do that properly, I will do it. Because I know how popular it is. It was one of my most popular selling items. But the margin, I think that's what they say, like the expenditure to make it, I'm only just cutting even. So that's saying something. Like the amount of money it costs to get, proper frosted jars, the logo, and you can't get small amounts. That's the thing. You've got to go big, and it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. And my money is invested in my home and in my garden right now, and just setting my home up for the essentials. I'm talking about bathing. Like I've only just finished my bath. And I'm still doing the decoration and the ornamental interior aspect of my bath. So it's not finished. So it's not something I can, readily spend on this eyeliner. This is what I do. And then, of course, growing your own food. This is another passion of mine. Eating very well, eating good food. I'm not saying, anything about restriction or whatever. I'm about good oils, good fats, really wholesome, good food. Don't restrict yourself. When you eat good and treat yourself to wholesome, good, rich food, you will be craving a lot less. If you're having sugar-free, fat-free, carbohydrate-free, or whatever is on the market, your body craves these things, and I would say anyone that's doing that, listen to your intuition and don't be afraid to eat full cream milk if you consume dairy, or really good, a good, proper, beautiful olive oils, like full olive oils, not the skim ones. Really wholesome, good things like that. And then there are nothing beats growing your own vegetables, growing your own fruits and vegetables. My God, it has to be the most rewarding thing ever. So when you consume this good stuff, how can your body not love you in return? I'm kind of wondering what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. I'm kind of having something light tonight. I do have spinach out in the garden. I think I will have some toast of some sort, but I'm wondering what I'm going to cook on top of that. Maybe some sauteed spinach, maybe an egg on that, or it may be just sliced tomato and melted cheese. I don't know. I'll work it out later. I just thought I'd make this video to show and share some of my little regime things that I do for treating my body like a temple. And I think the older you get, the more comfortable you get with age. Maybe not. Maybe there are plenty of young people in the world that are very accepting and comfortable in their own skin. I think there's a great positive movement with self-acceptance now. And there are some fabulous women, especially. There could be some men as well, but there are some fabulous women that absolutely embrace graceful aging without fillers, without, getting all these things done, and just taking care of what they have within themselves and not needing to feel like they have to go and look more youthful. I think when you see an older person and they're loving life and they're happy people, they're peaceful people, I think that's so much more richer than, getting your face and getting your body filled with things. And I have absolutely had, as I've shared on my Patreon, I've absolutely had a journey of my own with getting cosmetic work done. And some things I regret now, absolutely. And I'm the first to say it. So I've come to a peaceful medium in my life of self-acceptance. And for others, you know, you may have it as well, maybe not, but I've always been very transparent with my own journey and what I do now, because I am seriously allergic to, I want to say probably most things on the market. So I wouldn't even attempt to try and play around with that kind of thing anymore. So I listen to my body. I listen to my body, and I, you know, would encourage you to do the same. Whatever works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for me. So I would say trust your intuition. Always coming back to the intuition. Trust your intuition, and that will never lead you astray. Trust in that. Some days you're going to eat more than others. Some days you're going to sleep more than others. Some days you're going to drink more than others. You know, you're consistently in an ebb and flow. But giving yourself time out every day for some peace, quiet, some tranquility, self-care, a long soak in the bath. Everybody knows how much I love a long soak. Not that I've got a very big hot water system at the moment, but I am very much appreciating a bath, in my own bath. Ritualizing your self-care, ritualizing yourself, and you'll see how much it has a lasting effect when you do the things that you enjoy. I've never been a shower person. There are people that absolutely adore a shower. I mean, in fact, you know, if I had a really beautiful hot steaming shower, I'm not going to be complaining about that for sure. So getting sun on your skin, allowing the radiance of the sun to, you know, heal you and give you some beautiful energy for the day. I feel fantastic when I'm out in the sun. I don't use, you know, any kind of sunscreen at all, except for my moisturizer, which has it in naturally, but I don't use anything. I am not frightened of the sun. I love the sun. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to wrap this up now. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any more. But this is what I do for myself. And I figured if I couldn't find these natural products, I'm at least going to make them. And over the years, that's exactly what I've done. And I would encourage you to do the same. Love you guys. Hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are.